What's up, friends? Happy November 19th, and welcome to Master Microstrategy, where we are both hoping to master the generational wealth opportunity that is MicroStrategy 7 days a week. Remember, this show is for informational purposes only and not financial advice. Please consult a professional before making financial decisions. And as always, let's start by heading over to mstr-tracker.com for a snapshot of how MSTR is performing. Let's roll. All right, so let's start off with the stock price, which is at $384 and some change. That is a almost 13% increase from yesterday. And that gives us an outstanding shares of 224,675,000. Right now, the S&P 500 ranking is 117 out of 500. That's an increase of 23, moving in the right direction. Bitcoin's price right now is 91,407. So that's pretty cool to see that trending in the right direction as well. Looking for a breakout, of course. Bitcoin value per share, always important to watch. See that number go up if possible, is $134.75. And the NAV premium is 2.852. So right now, MicroStrategy has an unrealized profit of 13.7 billion with a return of 83%. Simply on fire, my friends. All right, let's dive into today's top news stories for MicroStrategy now. And the first story is from Investopedia. The headline is, watch these MicroStrategy levels as stock soars to record high after Bitcoin purchase. A quick summary of this article is that MicroStrategy stock surged 13% to $384, hitting a record high after purchasing 51,780 Bitcoins for about $4.6 billion at an average price of around 88,627 BTC. The acquisition raises the total Bitcoin holdings to 331,000. It's now valued at $30 billion. The stock has risen nearly sixfold year to date, far outpacing Bitcoin's 115% return. A golden cross on its chart indicates bullish momentum with a 50-week moving average crossing above the 200-week MA. Key support levels to watch are 180 and 115, but wow, I would not expect that personally. My own opinion there, but I guess anything is possible. And listen, my thoughts on this article are that the world's starting to sit up and notice, my friends. All I can say is I am glad that we are and were early to this party. The next story is from marketwatch.com. I'm going to go ahead and share this tab now. And this article right here, the headline is MicroStrategy has taken the next big step in its audacious Bitcoin acquisition. A lot of interesting stuff going on in this article, but the quick summary is that MicroStrategy acquired 51,780 Bitcoin. It's valued at over $30 billion in total. The benchmark, or I should say an analyst firm benchmark, raised the price target to $450, citing expectations of 543,200 Bitcoin holdings and $225,000 Bitcoin price by 2026. And listen, my thoughts are that this bullish news just keeps on coming down the track. Of course, there's going to be some pullbacks and retracements, but I am seeing a lot of blue skies ahead, my MicroStrategy masters. Today's last story is from CNN.com. Let's go ahead and head over there. And this article right here is all about MicroStrategy leading Bitcoin in 2024 gains, winning Wall Street's favor. And wow, a lot of cool stuff in this article. The quick summary is that MicroStrategy's transformation into a Bitcoin-focused powerhouse has made it a preferred vehicle for institutional investors seeking indirect crypto exposure. I love that. Its stock is up 1,620% since 2020 and 509% just this year, 2024. It outpaced Bitcoin's performance while it maintained a 0.883 correlation. So, wow, a lot of cool stuff going on here. My thoughts are that I just love how this has become the preferred, keyword again, preferred vehicle for institutional investors who are seeking crypto exposure. We've only cracked the surface here. There is so much more to come. Now let's move over to the top tweets of the day. I got some good ones here for sure. The first one comes from Satoshi's Journal. And this one, I would just say you need to go through this if you have any interest in learning more about the awesome things about Bitcoin. I mean, he goes through this. This is a lot of things that were said in the Q3 earnings report by Michael Saylor about how MSTR will be the most valuable company in the world, the largest Bitcoin bank, and so many cool things. He has a lot of great links to different articles and shows and videos. He talks about how it's a growth stock and shows how the convertible bonds performed. I mean, 90% blended. That number is actually up since he gave this presentation too, which is really exciting. He gives this amazing oil refining operation to oil reserves. That this analogy really hit home for me. Like this analogy really, really hit home when I could understand like what is crude oil? Crude oil is energy. Okay. But by itself, it's not that usable. I mean, what do you use crude oil for? Almost nothing. But what do you need? You need oil refining operations right here. You need these oil refining operations to make jet fuel, gasoline, diesel, blah, 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 fuel, all this stuff. You need that. Without the refining, you can't have any of this. You just have this potential energy. And then, of course, Bitcoin is this potential energy, as capital preservation, as productivity. And then MicroStrategy is the refinery. It's the treasury operations for options, for equities, for conversions, for dividends, for fixed, all these different things. So exciting. And again, these numbers have only gone up from here, which is really exciting to me. I mean, now, again, we're over 330,000 Bitcoin, and just the playbook is going through. So some really great things. This post is awesome for obvious reasons. MSTR could be the biggest Trojan horse for Bitcoin to infiltrate and crumble the kingdom of fake capital. Let's move on to the next tweet, which I thought was pretty awesome. This one's from Chris right here, as you can see. This is an updated one-pager summary of the full investment thesis following the Q3 earnings call. And as you can see, this one pager is pretty awesome. They got some really cool things going on here: the financial KPIs, the management team, the opportunities, the risks, the conclusion. He keeps it tight and short here. You can, of course, pause this video if you want to read this in full. There's actually some great comments that are below as well that I'd recommend if you go to the tweet itself. But this was a great tweet that I definitely wanted to share with you. The next one's from Michael Saylor himself. They announced the private offering of $1.75 billion of convertible senior notes. And they have this whole link to this article here about how they're doing this. And again, these convertible notes are oversubscribed. People love them. I mean, look at this, 1.1 million views of this. Unbelievable. Just some really cool stuff going on with that tweet there. And then this one that I wanted to share is from Jeff Walton. This guy, Punter Jeff, a must follow if you're into MicroStrategy. His content's amazing. His videos are great. He talked about how MSTR is now the 126th largest company in the world. It jumped 18 companies in one day. You can just see going down here where it's at right now at number 126. It's right on the heels of Coinbase, of course, and just a little bit more pump. And I mean, it's going to go way above Airbnb and other epic companies as well. And you can just see going down here, he talks in more details about that. And what's great is that the comments in these tweets are awesome as well, very helpful, and definitely something I recommend doing is when you go to the tweet, check out some of the top comments, and they're very helpful usually. The last tweet I will share is from another must follow if you're in a MicroStrategy, which is Ben Workman. He talks about the NASDAQ 100 tracking, which is really exciting because if and when, I should actually say when, MicroStrategy is included in the NASDAQ 100, that's just going to cause so much in the way of passive inflow into the stock, into MicroStrategy, that it's going to be really awesome. It's going to allow Michael Saylor to do a lot more ATM at the market, which is where he's selling shares as the market's going up, and in an accretive way, not in a dilutive way. And I'll have more. I'll have another video about that in general, like what does accretive mean when it comes to MicroStrategy. But this is just our daily update video, so I want to stick to the daily updates. But I will have other videos coming out soon, so make sure to subscribe, and I will have really epic videos where I go into deep dives on the different workings within MicroStrategy that you'll want to catch and definitely not want to miss. But once Michael Saylor is able to take these passive inflows, offer more ATM at the market, buy more, or I should say sell more shares, use that money to buy more Bitcoin, our Bitcoin yield, our BTC yield per share goes up. That's one thing that we talk about every day in the MSTR tracker, is how that's is going up. I'll even switch back here real quick to this tab and show you guys what I'm talking about when I'm saying the metrics and premium. The Bitcoin value per share, that number is going up because this number is going up, the Bitcoin per share. That happens when Michael Saylor does different things like offers convertible notes and buys Bitcoin with that, goes in, takes out 0.8% in interest in debt and then buys more Bitcoin with it. And when he offers at the market and then buys more Bitcoin with it, the Bitcoin value per share goes up. And that's good for us, you and me, the shareholders. So I just wanted to share that as well. And now let's move into something that I really love to do as well, which is getting kind of detailed into a couple different video and audio clips from Michael Saylor. I pulled out two that I think are really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. So just sit back and enjoy.
And why would that be a good thing when you're talking about a decentralized asset now being stockpiled by a centralized government?
Well, that's being sponsored by Senator Lummis from Wyoming, and she understands the value of the frontier. The United States was built by purchasing Manhattan. Then we purchased the Louisiana Territory. Then we purchased California and acquired Texas. And then we bought Alaska. The next great frontier is cyberspace. And the obvious thing to do is to own cyberspace, buy the future. And so I think it's a great idea. I think it will happen. And I think it's important to the United States because it cements the United States' control over the future world reserve capital network. Senator Lummis's bill will offset $16 trillion of our debt, according to my models right now. So I think it's economically wise, it's technically wise. And again, Bitcoin is manifest destiny for the United States.
So with your most recent acquisition of 27,200 Bitcoins, it looks like you now, based on my calculations, own about 1% of the Bitcoin supply. You just talked about this $42 billion fundraising plan. This would be a record-breaking plan. Half of it in at-the-market equity offerings and half of it in new debt securities. How will you carry this out, and why is now the time to go to market with something like this?
Well, all of our investors tell me they want me to buy more Bitcoin. They want me to raise capital to buy Bitcoin. And their number one concern was, are you going to stop issuing equity to buy Bitcoin? And so we were actually addressing their concerns. We did raise $2 billion to buy 27,000 Bitcoin just in the first 10 days of November. So we're moving fairly aggressively on it. I think our exact rate will be a function of the capital markets, but right now they've been very enthusiastic. So our plan is 3 years, but it's possible we'll do it much before then.
Okay. Michael Saylor of Microstrategy. Great to have you on. Thank you.
I mean, isn't that just so exciting? I love watching clips like this and just hearing Michael Saylor talk the talk and exactly share what he is so excited about when it comes to Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, the future, what is happening, what inevitably will happen. I just love this stuff. And I just keep playing it over and over again. Even though this is kind of an older clip, like you can see, it was 88,000 was Bitcoin at that time. Obviously Bitcoin's a little bit higher now, but MicroStrategy is way higher now. It was 327 during this clip. And now, it was 384 at the close of price yesterday, November 18th. So I kind of love seeing that. Of course, there's going to be times every now and then where we're watching a clip where MicroStrategy was higher than it currently is. We have to be prepared for that because there's going to be retracements. There's going to be pullbacks. Those are important steps of any healthy stock as it flushes out longs and then flushes out shorts and just continues to move forward by going 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, two steps back. So it's going to be a process going forward with MicroStrategy, of course, in that manner. Let's go to the last clip of the day. This is a really cool one I wanted to share with you. So let me go ahead and share this tab.
So the announcement this morning was from last week's activity. So that's 5 days in the marketplace. So we did about $2 billion the first week, and we did $4.6 billion the second
This is
week.
the biggest ever, biggest purchase.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest Bitcoin purchase ever. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see this here. August 2020, you made $250 million. September 2020, 175. December 2020, you bought 50 million. February 2021, you bought $1 billion. November 11, 2024, last week $2 billion, and then today $4.6 billion.
Yeah, so 6.6 billion since we had our quarterly results. So, I think it's like 41, 42 times we bought Bitcoin in that range. So ever since August of 2020, we keep buying. We don't sell. It's a very simple strategy. Bitcoin is Manhattan in cyberspace. I just want to keep buying Manhattan in cyberspace. I have this theory that one day 8 billion people want to put their money in Manhattan in cyberspace. So the announcement this morning was from last week's activity. So that's 5 days in the marketplace. So we did about $2 billion the first week, and we did $4.6 billion. The second
This is the
week,
biggest ever, biggest purchase.
yeah, I think it's the biggest Bitcoin purchase ever. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see this here. August 2020, you made $250 million. September 2020, 175. December 2020, you bought 50 million. February 2021, you bought $1 billion. November 11, 2024, last week 2 billion, and then today 4.6 billion.
Yeah, so 6.6 billion since we had our quarterly results. So, I think it's like 41, 42 times we bought Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
In that range. So ever since August of 2020, we keep buying. We don't sell. It's a very simple strategy. Bitcoin is Manhattan in cyberspace. I just want to keep buying Manhattan in cyberspace. I have this theory that one day 8 billion people want to put their money in Manhattan in cyberspace. So the announcement this morning was from last week's activity. So that's 5 days in the marketplace. So we did about $2 billion the first week, and we did $4.6 billion the second
This is the
week.
biggest ever, biggest purchase.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest Bitcoin purchase ever. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see this here. August 2020, you made $250 million. September 2020, 175. December 2020, you bought 50 million. February 2021, you bought $1 billion. November 11, 2024, last week 2 billion, and then today 4.6 billion.
Yeah, so 6.6 billion since we had our quarterly results. So, I think it's like 41, 42 times we bought Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
In that range. So ever since August of 2020, we keep buying. We don't sell. It's a very simple strategy. Bitcoin is Manhattan in cyberspace. I just want to keep buying Manhattan in cyberspace. I have this theory that one day 8 billion people want to put their money in Manhattan in cyberspace.
So, my friends, another day of master MicroStrategy is in the books. And remember that this show is for informational purposes only and not financial advice. Please consult a professional before making any financial decisions. And if this video added any value to your day, please take a second to like this video, to subscribe, to leave a comment. Like I mentioned earlier, I have some really amazing videos coming up that are not daily updates. We'll have a daily update video every single day, but they're going to be some non-daily specific updates that are just little rants, topic-based things to help you get a better understanding of MicroStrategy and learn more. I might do a full just breakdown of the Q3 earnings call. I'll probably do a whole history series on MicroStrategy and just some other really cool topics that I think are going to be fun. And of course, your comments could definitely inspire a future rant session. So please leave a comment with a question, with a comment, with your thoughts, with your opinions. Everything's welcome. So thank you for that. And this is JLD signing off. And always remember, the only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin. There is no second best.